Hello YouTube, a YouTube exclusive here on the channel, and it's been a while since we've done some Red Prison. We are in the month of November, so why not revisit? But we're going to revisit it with a twist. And it may bomb out, or it may be really good. Channeler, Seasoned Pyromancer, Pia Kirinalar, Red Prison, a token Red Prison, Walkerless. Let's take a look at the list. Red Prison, but we're doing something a little bit different here. This is the list in front of you. Take it in. So, typically Red Prison has had Karn or Chandra. These are defining pillars of the list. We've talked about the core 50 or so cards, which include Ensnaring Bridge, Blood Moon, Chalice, your ritual effects, your lands, and then usually the Walker package. Not today. Today, we're doing something different. We're going to try to avoid Force of Negation completely, play lots of wide strategies, and maybe take down our opponents around the bridge. So, what do we have here? In YouTube comments, we did have someone note that they would think the spell lands would benefit us, and so we've tucked in a couple Shatterskull smashings here. This is to improve Channeler. One thing we've noted with Channeler is that if it's two of them are out, we don't get as much value because we tend to go Hellbent or have 0 cards in hand. So if you have 2 Channelers and you're behind a bridge, really one just sits there and does nothing because the cost of getting new cards is discarding a card. So how do we fix this? We've reduced Channeler down to 3, so we have 3 Channelers here. We've opted to go the 3 package of Sweltering Suns, Slagstorm, and Anger the Gods. This way we can cycle, maybe do damage, or the Anger the Gods, which is the best one, which we've got a backup one here in the sideboard, can get rid of those pesky creatures. We've upped the Abrade account, but on top of all this, we've decided to add back Avaricious Dragon. Avaricious Dragon, for those that are not familiar, reads basically at draw step, draw 2, and at end step, discard. With this and Channeler, we have a good idea of getting through our cards faster and trying to find either lock pieces and or more action. Now, we've seen a lot of Jund in the meta recently, and we're going to hope to find ourselves against a little bit of Jund. Not really sure why I'm asking for that. But in so, we have Pia Kirinalar, 3 of here. And having a couple flying evasive tokens here, bridge, you draw your card, maybe 2 with the dragon, and you swing in, and then you discard. Might be what we've got to get us to the victories. We have a transformational sideboard out of essentially this lock package to the Eidolons and Rabble Masters. You can consider us going into a bit more of that Punisher prison list. Got a couple Maguses in case Blood Moon is exceptional. And we've got Torp Orbs and Relic. Now Torp Orb nombos with about half of our creatures here. That's okay. In the matchups where we truly need it, our wide board is probably not winning. This is Red Prison, a Channeler retake without Planeswalkers. Let's take it to the matches. Let's see how we go. 5-0? 0-5? Let's find out. Match 1 we have here. Queuing up Red Prison, a Planeswalker list. We'll see if the creatures do enough or if we really truly need that recursion that the Planeswalkers give us with either damage, emblems, or finding the lock pieces. I'm talking about you, Chandra and Karn. Match 1 has been found. Let's go. Something different and spicy here to kick off November. Let's do it. We're against Kev, 14-14, and we do get to play, let's see, a turn 1 Blood Moon. Well, it's close. We have a Giganta here. We're going to go ahead and keep this. I'm going to go ahead and rush out a Chalice on 1 here, probably followed by the Blood Moon as well. Should be fairly safe to do this. We do have the Shatterskull, which is our 3rd land as well. So I feel pretty safe in doing this. Giganta typically can mean something like Tron. There are some other burn prowess type lists. This could be also Niv. So we'll see which one we run into. Misty Rainforest as the leading card here definitely speaks to a bit more of a Niv list. We'll see if that is what they do. We're hoping they have a 2-drop they'd like to play. That way they go ahead and start fetching for some cards. We have a Hallowed Fountain here sideways. It looks like they'll get 1 non-basic here. Feeling pretty safe that this Blood Moon will resolve with the Chalice here, although Force of Negation is a card. Gonna go ahead and slam that out here. Probably just slap down a Dragon next if I'm so inclined. We gotta beat Euro here. This is one of the matchups I didn't really want to run into because it can be a little bit difficult. That being said, looks like my opponent's got nothing to do here and just passes to us. We have a Channeler and we have this Bridge. Sort of want to slap down the Channeler here. That plus the Dragon here looks pretty good. Dragon puts a 4/4 into play. My opponent did miss a land. They seem to have missed a land again. Let's go ahead and convert Channeler's Bridge into something. Take our Ramunot Ruins. That's fine. We'll play that 1, 2, 3, 4. Dragon and pass turn. Discarding our hands. So we look like we're in a pretty good spot here. Blood Moon's definitely doing its work. We have Dragon now in play. We can search deeper and start attacking for 4. My opponent's clearly missed a few lands here. Double draw here, and this is the perfect example where let's just get rid of this Desperate Ritual and see if we can find something a little more interesting. I don't mind an extra potentially Chalice here. We can throw a bonus Chalice on 1, and we'll attack for 4. There was a Blood Moon there, but it wouldn't allow me to cast the Simian Spirit Guide, so we just go this route. Looks like my opponent's kind of just not finding anything. Double draw here. Find ourselves a Pia Nalar. And let's go ahead and dump everything here and attack. It's pretty cool that we've played that Chalice now. Pia Nalar is looking very strong. At this point, we have them dead on board because our board is wide enough. I'm not really sure why they kept a 2-lander here, but I guess they didn't expect us to Blood Moon them. Whew. Game 1 in the books. Looks pretty good. And we do know what my opponent is on strategy-wise. Perhaps the Chalice on 1 did stop things like Oath of Nyssa and Utopia Sprawl, and so perhaps the Chalice was actually the winning card there. Okay, Rabble-Masters, Eidolons, Magus, and Relic all look like decent cards here. I don't want Torp Orbs. That stops more of my stuff and gives them a giant 6/6. Braids look a bit weak here. Let's see here. Sweltering and Slagstorm and Anger don't look very strong because they're not very big in terms of the damage that they can apply. I can probably get rid of 1 Channeler here. Maybe even just get rid of the Channelers altogether to bring in something more aggressive here. Relic is going to be a little bit awkward because Chalice does want to be on 1. But Relic is fine to have as that kind of non-bow with Chalice here because it will impact Euros and things like that. So that's reasonable to consider here. Kind of like these 9 out and looking at, let's take Rabble-Masters first. Let's do 3 Eidolons and 2 Relics. How much do I like this Magus? They're going to play first, fetch, basic, get down Forest, Utopia Sprawl. Maybe we can cut a pair of Chalices and bring in Maguses. And that plays into our Relic. We could even cut 1 more and just like, hey, if we spike this Chalice, maybe we can play it out. But otherwise, I'm going to do Maguses and Blood Moons here. And then we're going to just be super aggressive. You know what? Let's get rid of the Chalice completely and bring in a Channeler. Let's be as aggressive as our deck will allow us while still being able to ritual out things on turn 1. All right, thought process done. Let's go. Game 2 against the Euro, Giganta style. Well, I mean, put this into play. Off a Simian Spirit Guide, land, Simian, Seasoned Pyromancer. I'm not wild about the hand. It's a bit of a strange hand. However, it will give us a nice board presence pretty quickly. And I do like the idea of having 4 power on turn, essentially 1 here. I don't need the extra Simian Spirit Guide. We're probably going to go into another land, so that feels pretty good. All right, Eidolon looks pretty nice. Could be a nice follow-up here. We'll probably just get rid of Seasoned here, so I do have an Eidolon. It's a pretty good little thing. 4 damage on the board here, 2 Eidolons for the future. Relic's a little iffy to have picked up, but we might be just playing Eidolon here. We might even play Blood Moon now that they've fetched non-basic. All right, looks like it will be Eidolon. We'll hit for 4. We might do enough damage here to really hurt my opponent. We can disguise this Relic briefly by playing it a bit later. And my opponent's going to fetch, go to 14 anyway. 14 with 6 power on the board. We're basically a 2-turn clock because Eidolon will do some damage here. They go get a basic, and my opponent hasn't really done anything. Our aggressive start is paying off. Mountain. That's good for Blood Moon. Euro. All right. Now this Relic just looks like a great way to get rid of this. I know I get rid of my Seasoned Pyromancers, but we're kind of okay with that. My opponent plays a land here. Definitely going to play the Relic and pop the Relic. Draw a card, try to hit a land for a Seasoned Pyromancer in the future. We do hit the Seasoned Pyromancer here. Let's go combat. Okay. 6 damage in. My opponent goes to 9. 8 with the fetch. What do we have here? Do I just play Blood Moon because it stops a lot more things here? Or do I play Relic? Probably Blood Moon. Trying to stop a few more things here. They can fetch 1 more forest. So they can have double forest, double mountain here. That stops 0 anyway. And even if they found like a breeding pool here, they got to somehow counter this. Feeling pretty solid here. 2 green, 2 red for our opponent. Blood Moon, and then a board nice and wide here. If my opponent happens to anger us, they take 2, go to 6. I Seasoned Pyromancer, and we'll be looking sharp. All right. Who needs Chandra and Karn? Shh. Don't tell them that. On to match 2. Game 1, match 1, all done. It's good to be back on Red Prison. Match 1 does what we think it should, and even takes down the list I was a bit nervous about. We might have something here. Let's go. Match 2, let's look for an opponent. We found one. Let's play some Magic. Alright, we do not get to go first, unfortunately, but that is part of Magic. You don't always get to go first. Reggie, 819 with a Luris here. So we have things that could discard. We have a double lander, Ritual, Simian Spirit Guide. We have Seasoned Pyromancer and Dragon with a removal spell. Seems good. Let's take on this Death Shadow Rakdos Prowess list. I'm sure it is. Scalding Tarn with this Luris and a Blood Crypt. Let's see. Swift Spear. Okay. We could naturally abrade that on turn 1 here. I could be just playing Seasoned Pyromancer, digging a little bit deeper. See what the top of the cards are. Another land. All right. So we have another land here. I've got this Swift Spear I could take care of. I could wait a little bit. I could play a dragon out really fast. I don't think I like that idea. I'm tempted to just kill this, not worry about what's going on here. Next turn, I can go ahead and play the Seasoned Pyromancer and dig a little bit deeper. This feels like an okay thing to go ahead and get rid of. This is going to do probably about 5 or 6 damage if I don't go ahead and just kill it right now. Your move, opponent. They might Thoughtseize here or something like that. I'm not too concerned about a Thoughtseize at this point in the game. Bloodstained Mire should fetch a basic. They opt for Blood Crypt here. Doubling down on their mana here. Double black. Scourge would be a 1/1. I don't think they want to play that. Thoughtseize Death Shadow. Scourge as a 1/1 here. Very interesting. Okay. So here we have the option to play Seasoned Pyromancer, or we have the option to get a bridge down. To me, I like the idea of a bridge because it's in our hand right now, and getting rid of this will prevent this from really growing and being very large. And I like the idea of just being able to put this in. Yeah, we're going to end up bolting in, but if they are trying to stay underneath our bridge, then the Shatter Skull is going to look pretty good. Here they might take my land. We'll see. I don't foresee them taking the land, personally. I think they want to get rid of the Seasoned Pyromancer, but maybe they will. It is a distinct possibility. And we could have last turn bolted in and done this, and then this would have been too big, I think. 4/4, yeah, it would have been too big. Maybe that was the line, because we would have a basic mountain. They do take my land. I find that very interesting here. And a Death Shadow. A couple little 1/1s here. This is going to grow to a 2/2. Attacks me. Alright, let's see if we do hit our land. I'm going to go ahead and just convert this into at least a token here. I don't think I want the dragon necessarily. Alright, a braid and a land. That's fine. Looking pretty good for us. A braid will be kind of nice to hang on to for the Lurrus. We don't want the Lurrus to recur here with a something else. Do they have their own braid? Double red here. Braiding this would be awful for us. Seal of Fire. Huh, that's okay. Seal of Fire. Many seals. Now this would definitely be one of those matchups with Chandra would be maybe a little bit nicer to have, because behind the bridge we can deal the damage. At the same time though, top decking a Piakir and Alara would be pretty okay as well. Got a couple lands here, nothing really to do. We'll just pass. Sounds good to me. If I go to a braid the Scourge, they just shoot me. If I go to a braid the Death Shadow, they can seal themselves. Crash through here. Going to combat. They attack with this and then double down on the seal here. If I block with both of this, they could seal one of these. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to abrade the Death Shadow here. This can come back with Lurrus, but if my opponent makes any move to save anything here, they won't be attacking. And our life total is important this game, especially with some seals here. We're looking for something on the magnitude of, say, Piakir and Alara at this point in the game. This Lurrus could be a problem, though, being that it could recur some of these Seal of Fires, and that's definitely what we do not want to be doing. Extra Death Shadow here, still a 1/1. And our turn. Alright, so we do have a Slag Storm here. It's kind of interesting. I think we can hold the Slag Storm. I really want something for this Lurrus. I like the idea of the Death Shadow not being something that I'm too concerned about here. And they don't want to necessarily fetch because now that will make Death Shadow that much bigger. I like our position with a Slag Storm in hand. This is an attack here. This is a pretty easy block with our Seasoned Pyromancer at this point. One thing they could have done is sealed, and fetch, shock, but I don't think they want to be doing that. We do have a fetch shock here. All right, and another fetch shock. This might just go straight upstairs. They're at 6. Oh, do we have another, like, crash through? These are sorcery speeds, so... We have a Teamer Battle Rage? They do have the Teamer Battle Rage. Interesting. Alright, so we do die here. Didn't play around Teamer Battle Rage, although if I'm blocking with the Elemental here, I think they just shoot themselves. Dang. Alright, alright. Got by the Teamer Battle Rage. It's okay, though. We've got some fun things to bring in for our opponents. Dragon looks pretty poor here. Blood Moon's not as good. I don't particularly like Sweltering or Anger. I prefer an Abrade if I'm going to be able to shoot something. So, very aggressive hand here. Let's go ahead and pivot to that more aggression. So we decided to hold Slagstorm on the chance that they play Lurrus. I don't particularly wanted them to play Lurrus and recur those Seal Fires and then shoot us all the way down, because we don't have that much removal. At the end of the day, though, kind of wrecks us there. Kind of wrecks us. Got a little greedy with my Slagstorm in hand. Let's go. We can do this. All right, let's play first. Chalice is a decent card in this matchup. That's why we've kept that one in. We do have that Chalice, but that is all we have in this opening hand. That is all we have. Now, it's decent, but is it worth going all in for a Chalice here? Probably not. A Thoughtseize just kind of wrecks us here. Let's go ahead and mulligan this opening hand. This is a much better hand. We'll go ahead and keep this. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of one of my bridges here. We have 2 bridges, and we have an Abrade to interact with our opponent. We also have a Scavenger Grounds to deal with Lurrus shenanigans. Pretty A-okay hand. I'll take it. Bloodstained Mire. If I wanted to, I could have gotten rid of the Abrade, and then I had 3 bridges, but my opponent is playing a creature. Play our Raminot Ruins out. That'll help our Scavenger Grounds in the future. Go ahead and Abrade the Soulscar Mage, and we'll be going good here. Double bridge and getting both of these down would be very nice. They more than likely brought in artifact removal. What's up? Thoughtseize? It is Thoughtseize time. Alright, they see the double bridge here. Do they have another Thoughtseize? I'm guessing no. Soulscar Mage is the follow-up. Alright. Scavenger and Bridge down. Go ahead, opponent. Now, we're not out of the woods here yet. We need Pia Kirinalar, Eidolons, or Rabble Masters here. We need an aggressive card. Hopefully we can find that. And our opponent can attack a couple times here before I get empty-handed. We do have 2 more lands. This is important to note. Sunbaked Canyon for our opponents. He uses that. There's that Seal Fire. We've seen that one before. Soulscar Mage becomes a 2/3 due to prowess. And they attack for 2. We're at 18. This could be a Scourge here. No follow-up. Alright. We have a land. We're just going to pass here. Not looking the greatest. Just continuing to draw lands. Our bridge is pretty soft out here too. A K command, an Abrade of their own, something like that. Inquisitions are going to see that hand is empty. Which is going to give them a bit of the green light to keep going forward here. This does make the Soulscar Mage a 2/3. That's as big as it can go unless they have instant speed. And for 2. And a lightning bolt. All right, pretty good. Top of the library is an Eidolon. Eidolon's actually not too bad here. They do have the Seal of Fire, so they can get rid of it. But I'll take an Eidolon. Now, we have Scavenger Grounds for Lurrus, but we also have Ramunot and Scavenger Grounds for 4 damage upstairs. My opponent does need to be careful here with their Sunbaked Canyon. In this turn, we will probably not defend here, with the hopes that this Eidolon can do some damage in the future. I could have blocked here with the idea that they have to cast something, and by casting something, it takes damage. The other thing is, now that they've attacked, if they don't play a creature, I can attack back. And because our opponents and my life total are both at 12, the whole attacking back is actually a pretty plausible thing here to be doing. We might also redirect the Seal of Fire to the Eidolon, which would be fine. Find ourselves a Seasoned Pyromancer. That's totally fine. We'll go ahead and attack with Eidolon for starters. See if they'd like to kill it for me, so I don't take damage. And they do. Thank you. Land here. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to leave up Scavenger Grounds and Ramunot. It's nice to have a Seasoned Pyromancer here because that can make tokens. We can probably save this and just toss out a Simian Spirit Guide. This can be for 4 right now. You can do creatures and planeswalkers, and if X is 6, you do twice. You can only go up to 4 right now. Soulscar Mage decides attacking is the way to go. I think I'm happy with a double block here. Getting rid of Soulscar Mage is completely fine. They abrade my bridge. Okay. Do we have a relatively large blocker here next? And they battle rage here. All right. Well, it's good that I double blocked. We were going to be taking quite a bit. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Seasoned Pyromancer tokens. Probably just want to Shatter Skull here. They decided to Teamer Battle Rage and Abrade. They have 1 card left. I'm going to do 2 damage here. Alright, we'll do this. I'm going to leave up the ruins here. Got the Simian Spirit Guide to use Scavenger Grounds if I needed to. I don't expect myself to need to. But they could be putting Lurrus into hand this turn and just planning to play Lurrus and get the Soulscar Mage in the future. The Seal of Fire. Okay, we have a land drop here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to do this and make it look like Scavenger Grounds is offline here. We have 2 elementals here. The plan is for them to probably play Lurrus. I almost hope they use Seal of Fire first at face and then play Lurrus. This makes it look like I don't have Scavenger Grounds online. That's the idea here, at least. This is really awkward with the Seal of Fire because when I go to kill the graveyard here, which I need to because they have another Seal of Fire anyway. I'm going to get rid of the Ramunot Ruins here because I may need to use the Scavenger Grounds once more. They can do 2 and then replay this, which is frustrating. I needed to clear the graveyard, though, so that they didn't play something else. Looks like we're a bit behind. We'll need like a bridge here probably. Soulscar Mage, Luris, and Sealfire. Seasoned Pyromancer's not a bad start to this. This is where our Anger Slagstorms would have been really nice. Chalice is an interesting one. Let's toss a Chalice out on 1. This will keep the Sealfire and future 1-drops in under check here. I can probably triple block Luris if they decide to attack with that. Sealfire one thing, but not both. There's a Scourge. We're definitely needing a bridge here. Looking a bit awkward. 9/9's a pretty awkward thing to see. Okay, so we goofed up a little bit in game 1. This game 2 is probably just going to come down to whatever I top deck here. We'll probably decide it. The Chalice does stop them from Sealfire Repeat, getting rid of things. But I am going to have to go pretty heavily blocking here. We have 1 card to beat. I think a triple block over here is completely safe. We'll get rid of Luris. They do Sealfire, Seasoned Pyromancer. Okay. Do we have a follow-up for this? Or are you losing Luris? Alright. Do a little trade there. Not bad. Not great. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, we're going to wait here and play Seasoned Pyromancer tokens. That way I can at least chump block this and then play Rabblemaster down. Looks like they'll cycle a Sunbaked Canyon here at end step. Makes sense. Alright, an 8/8 to beat. It's going to become a 9/9 or even larger here once Soulscar Mage. Well, no, because they have 12. Looking at my life total. Hoping this Chalice is stopping a lot of things. We're only on chump blocking duty here. I'm not going to throw 2 in front of it because it doesn't make sense to. If they've got the Temur Battle Rage, they've got the Temur Battle Rage. Oh yeah, we're definitely just chump blocking here. What do we got, opponent? This is just bringing in the elementals. Chump block. Got plenty of mana to do pretty much anything I want to at this point in the game. We go to 9. They did not have Temur Battle Rage. 2 mana. Do we just have another one of these? That'll be awful. We're gonna braid this. Feed the Swarm the other elemental token here. Alright. Top of the library. Let's go. Bridge. That's not a bridge. Alright, Rabblemaster throws in a point of damage here, making this a 9/9 Scourge. It does give me a blocker again. And then we'll repeat blocker hopefully the following turn. We do die here if they have another Feed the Swarm. Not much I can do about that. Thought Seizes. Does get a Prowess trigger here. It's worth the Prowess trigger more than likely. Blood Crypt. They can make their Scourge a little bit bigger. They can make an 11/11 if they shock in. And another Thought Seize for another Prowess trigger here. Alright, well I've got to block, obviously, or I lose. So simple block here. Down to 6. Creature. Come on. Alright, we're on blocking duty one more time. Go ahead, opponent. Needing something. Preferably... Probably Seasoned Pyromancer is probably the preferred. Block we go. Our turn. Bridge. Oh, don't be another Scourge. Bridge and bridge only here. Rabble Master does not do it. Rabble Master blocking one of these. Token comes in, they chump block, and then they attack with both of these. Game is over. Punt a little bit there by holding Slagstorm, not thinking about the fetch, shock, Sealfire, and Teamer Battle Rage line from our opponent. But there you have it. Opponent takes us down. Blood Moon's probably still okay to keep in there, but we are trying a strategy where we're pushing in creatures, and it doesn't pay off. Not this time, at least. Match 2 done. We'll see you in match 3. 2 matches in the book. We're going to match 3, 1-1 with a Planeswalker list. Creatures seem to be doing decently. Didn't quite get us there last one, but it definitely got us there the first one. Match 3, let's find an opponent. Let's continue and see what results we end up with. We're definitely not 0-5. We're most certainly not 5-0 either. We have found an opponent. Let's go. Match 3. Took a little while to find an opponent. All right. We're on the draw. We have one of the best hands possible. Chalice, Bridge, and Blood Moon. We're going to go ahead and keep this. And we'll go ahead and get rid of Seasoned Pyromancer. We're hoping one of our locks is a lot better than just a few tokens and drawing cards. Let's go, opponent. Alright, so we have a Valakut Stoneforge, Valakut Awakening. This could be an oops all spells. I'm gonna go ahead and put a Chalice on 1 here and pass turn, because it doesn't commit me with the Simian Spirit Guide. See if I can get a little more information to determine where I want to go with this bridge here. Manamorphose. Alright. Could be doing Bridge next. Or Blood Moon. We'll see. They've used 2 Manamorphoses, so I could lock them out of green. And green is typically a thing that Charbelcher lists do rely on. I'm thinking it's more the Charbelcher list because of the red and the green nature of what they've got going on here. Alright, I don't really have to choose. We'll go ahead and slap down a Blood Moon and pass turn. Next up will be Bridge. We need to avoid Charbelcher for the most part. Kind of helping them because things come into play untapped if they were. This could have been played tapped or untapped anyway though. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. I think I want to still play a Bridge here over the Simian Spirit Guide just in case they're the oops all spells play the Undercity Informer in. If they do play Charbelcher here, my only out is a Braid. Alright, now we're going to play a Simian Spirit Guide. It's not the quickest clock here, obviously. It's only going to be doing 2 a turn. But hey, we need something. Manamorphose, now they can make that green mana, so we could be in trouble here. They go to stack their library here. We'll die next turn. They do not. Interesting for us. Bonus Simian Spirit Guide. We're quickening the clock here, which is good. We need to end this game now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana for our opponent. Go ahead and F6 through the turn. We have no actions. They are looking for Charbelcher. They have 6 mana now. Plays their own Simian Spirit Guide. And their own Simian Spirit Guide. Okay. Apparently we're doing this. We will go ahead and attack here. And they probably just block here. We're definitely a bit unfavored at this point in the game. I've got all 4 of my bridges against a deck that really is not probably attacking me at this point. They have plenty of mana to combo off the turn they find Charbelcher. Now it's just a matter of them finding Charbelcher. So our Braid is a dead draw. We need creatures, creatures, creatures. Speaking of, we're going to hold everything. The reason for holding everything is I can actually get rid of Pyretic and a Braid in case they're the Spy, Undercity Informer. But also it gives us things to pitch to Seasoned Pyromancer to create tokens. Here's a Chalice. I can't put a Chalice on 4 yet. We're a little ways off from that. We'll hold. Maybe I can find a way to get that Chalice up to 4 somehow. It's going to be a long shot. Opponent stops on main phase number 2 here briefly. Thinks about casting something. Ritual. They don't need extra mana here, so I'm not sure what the ritual is for. Might be a big walking ballista. Okay. I kind of want to just throw a Chalice out on like 3. I have Channeler. Can't quite get it to 3, unfortunately. Let's just hold tight here and then try to get a Chalice to 3 because I have Magnetic Channeler that I could win this game with. And just play the full-on lock here. I haven't drawn more cards than my opponent anyway. There's Piakir Nalar. I can't put that out because of the Chalice on 4, but I kind of want them to keep the Chalice on 4. Maybe they're just like, hey, I'm going to put it on 4, and as soon as I find in a Braid, I'll blow it up and I'll play Charbelcher. Okay. We win. Let's go to sideboard. I am a bit lost here, but we're going to go super aggressive here. I'm also going to bring in the Maguses here. We're going to take out Sweltering, Slagstorm, Anger of the Gods. Honestly, probably just the Abrades here. I don't think Chalice is very good either. I can't imagine it's very good. We're going to keep the bridges in case they have the mill a bunch of creatures plan here. Then I can at least have a bridge blocking them from attacking with a bunch of Vengevines or something of that sort. So we're going to do that. We're going to also keep Blood Moons in here. And I brought Magus of the Moon in because sometimes they need green to stack their library in some fashion. This opening hand seems okay. We'll keep it. Not the greatest. Probably rush to get a Seasoned Pyromancer out over the Magnetic Channeler. I can also put down a Scavenger Grounds relatively quickly here, and if they are that graveyard-centric list, I can always leave this generally open to take care of that, and then the bridge isn't as necessary here. Opponent's mulligan to 6, mulligan down to 5. It appears to keep 5. I am leaning towards that Seasoned Pyromancer, though, only because the Channeler probably doesn't grow large enough, quick enough. We'll pass. Got another Seasoned Pyromancer, so back-to-back Seasoned Pyromancers could be really pretty brutal for our opponent. I wonder if I still hold on to this. Seasoned Pyromancer getting rid of Channeler and Seasoned Pyromancer is an option. Ritual here. Ritual's a bit scary. Simian Spirit Guide, Goblin Charbelcher. It looks like I need an Abrade and Abrade only, and I think I took those out. Alright. Well, I'll go ahead and do this. I'm just going to get rid of both Seasoned Pyromancers to give them no information here. And we'll see if they have that next land. We'll bring the Abrades back in. Apparently my opponent's okay with doing it this way. Alright, we'll just concede. We don't need them to activate here. We understand what they're doing. Let's bring the Abrades back. I was thinking I could be quicker than my opponent. The answer obviously is no, I can't. Braids in, magnetic channelers out, and we'll go. Magnetic channelers are coming out because they're probably not going to grow too big enough, quick enough. So I'd rather be in this position where I have the Abrades. If we had the Abrade over that magnetic channeler there, we win that game probably hands down. Let's play first. All right, one lander here is probably not getting it for us. Let's mulligan. One lander with other options. We do have a Rabble Master here. This one's tempting. This one is tempting. My opponent's kept all 7. Let's mulligan again. We need to be faster. Here we go. Keep. I have to get rid of 2 things here. Let's do a ritual as well here. Although I'm not able to play Seasoned Pyromancer immediately after this. The good thing here is I'll have a quick Rabble Master, and this might be enough to beat them. We'll see. 2 running lands here, then I get to play Seasoned Pyromancer. By the way, all of those opening hands there from each mulligan had only 1 land. We'll see if Goblin Rabble Master is fast enough on turn 1 here to beat our opponent. Tap land it is. That's a good start for us. Land, please. Who needed a land anyway? In we go. All right. If they have to do any weird stacking or anything like that, they can't bolt in, I don't think. Are we quick enough? Eidolon would not have been quick enough, that's for sure. And I doubt this list plays Bolt. It's not a typical thing for this list to play a Bolt or some sort of interaction. They're just trying to churn out their Charbelcher really quickly. So our creatures should be relatively safe, and going all in like we have is usually pretty okay. Oh, that's an interesting one to find off the top here. Does not cast it because they don't have the 2nd mana. They don't have a Simian Spirit Guide, or at least they decide it's not worthwhile. We're about to hit for 8. So we have 2 more attacks and we win this game. Doesn't really matter what we have off the top. We're at the mercy of what my opponent can do, and if they can kill us here in 2 more turns. The answer is no. We're too fast. Turn 1 Goblin Rabble Master. Still pretty good in Modern. Not bad. 2-1 overall. We'll see you in the next one. Win. Loss. Win. Match 4. Let's find our opponent. Let's continue on with Creatureless. Ha! We've done that already. Planeswalkerless. Red Prison in Modern. We have found a match. Let's begin. And we get to play. Always a good thing here. I think we can go ahead and keep this. Double down on Channelers and 2 lands. This will give Channeler a chance to stretch the legs here. Mountain, go ahead, opponent. Let's see what you're on. Polluted Delta looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and play this Channeler. This will make it not look like I'm exactly Red Prison here. Maybe I can get my opponent to fetch a non-basic. The other thing this is playing around is Stubborn Denial from maybe a Grixis Death Shadow list. We'll find out. Non-basic here. Good. Fatal Push. Not bad. Alright, Snow-Covered Island and something else. We have a Bitter Blossom here. This looks like a reasonable turn to go ahead and slap down the Blood Moon. Hoping they have no Force of Negation. Finding another land is super nice here. Blood Moon down. Go ahead, opponent. We'll be racing some Bitter Blossom tokens here. Should be an interesting one. We might be doing Seasoned Pyromancer next. Opponent has that basic that they need and does nothing. Alright, let's Seasoned Pyromancer. Let's get rid of Blood Moon and Channeler here if we can. Ooh. Oh, Spell Stutter. Oh, okay. Guess I'm not doing any of that. Got Spell Stuttered here. Bitter Blossom trigger. Probably want to get this other bridge down somehow. We'll find a way. Opponent attacks for 2, 18 to 15. I'm just going to slam a bridge because I found another bridge. Let's see if my opponent has another Spell Stutter sprite here. Fairies. I do like seeing a good fairy list. Alright, we need to empty our hands somehow here. Channeler can help us do that. Definitely our next target. My opponent's going to attack us for 3. 18 goes down to 15. They're at 14. Having a couple bridges here would be nice. We might try to get the second bridge down. I doubt they're playing something like an Echoing Truth. Inquisitions to help us out here. I could be getting rid of the Simian Spirit Guide here, but he'll actually help us. We'll see what they want to take. A little surprised that they even fire off an Inquisition here. So, a little bit surprising there. Let's play a new bridge here and pass. Needing a land at some point. Fairies will kill us. Probably going to diversify here into the Blood Moon next, so I have 2 and 2. Here they go. In for 4. I'm going to 11. Getting a little nervous here. Need a land drop. Alright, we don't hit a land drop here. Let's do 1, 2, 3. Play a Blood Moon. Luckily, it's a cheaper spell. I could have Braid and play another 2-drop. But this extra 3-drop's going to kill me, it looks like. Luckily, I can abrade one of their fairies here. It might be important. All right. We can do a Chalice. Let's do an abrade. Let's try to kill something here. 5. I doubt it's a remand, I'll be very honest with you. And we'll put a Chalice on 1. I doubt they have direct damage. They might be able to flash something in here at end step. Fingers crossed it's not another creature. Okay. No creature. 5 things can attack. I need a land. I need a land or a ritual spell, and I need them to not remand it back to hand. I need no petty thefts. I need a lot of things here to go right. Come on, land. Oh! Well, that'll do it. Collective Brutality here takes out what we've got left. Nice. And there is our land. All right, opponent. Let's see here. Magus, Anger, and maybe some Torp Orbs. Seems like an okay thing. Seasoned Pyromancer and Channeler look a little bit weak here. Let's take out a pair of Channelers, one Magnetic. That's 3 of the 5. Honestly, the Braids look a little weak here too. Probably a pair of Braids as well. Now we are bringing in Torp Orb. We do have ETB creatures. That's okay though. That is generally the idea here. What we want to do is prevent all of their fairies from entering and screwing up what we're playing. And so Torp Orbs are definitely in. This is definitely a matchup where if we had something on the lines of... Honestly, if we had the Chandra, I think we'd be doing a lot better here. Hand looks decent enough. I can at least start with a Chalice on 1, followed by a Bridge pretty safely here. I obviously could be forced, but we'll see if that's something that they'll be doing here. They may be looking for ways to get basics and some way to be happy about their opening hand. They do find one. They had to go to 5, though. We'll lead with a Chalice on 1 and pass the turn. Polluted Delta, no follow-up here. There's that Torp Orb. Let's go ahead and slap that down. Seems good, and this could get a force here if they have one. Torp Orb is going to stop a lot of the ways they interact with us, which is good. We are exposing our bridge to a counter in the future, but I think that's okay, given that we have the Torp Orb. No fear of a Blood Moon, Watery Grave found here. Second Polluted Delta. We find a basic island. Are we just going to play a Bitter Blossom again? We are. All right. Lands. No land. Ritual into bridge. Hope for no force. Down it goes. It looks like we're back to the same thing that happened last time. Fairy Rogue in, and no follow-up. Let's go ahead and Ritual. Seasoned Pyromancer, Torp Orb, does not draw, keeps my anger, which is great here. Aether Gusting, will simply put that to the bottom. We're trying to empty our hand. I don't really care about Seasoned Pyromancer. It was a 2/2 for 3. Fairy Rogue here. And attacks for 1. Good stuff. Land? Ooh, a 4-drop. 4-drop's not exactly where we wanted to be. Bitter Blossom trigger here. Come on. We need 2 lands. Running lands, please. Tax for 2. I said running lands. At least I get the Anger of the Gods to reset here. Wouldn't mind playing the Magus afterwards. Shuts them off black. Not so good against blue. Opponent just keeps attacking here. We're just going to keep finding non-lands. This is not good. Especially since they'll be able to counter this anger, almost certainly. Darkslick Shores here. Opponent attacks for 4 and we'll go into 10. Running lands. Come on. Okay. Top deck land. No counter spell for my opponent. Right? That's what we need. That's what we need. Anger into the dragon. Down to 5 I go. Well, I did not find my land. It was impossible to find. We end up losing this one. Both games on the back of just not being able to find our lands quick enough to empty our hand to Bitter Blossom. I think we should be able to win both of these fairly easily, and we don't. What an unfortunate series of events. Plenty of Blood Moons, though. We could have shut them off black, that's for sure. That is for sure. Opponent takes it down. A bit of a non-game, unfortunately, there. We'll go ahead and share our hand to our opponent. Torp Orb, Bridge, and there's our land. So turn 9, or turn 10, 11, and on turn 12. Sometimes it happens. We'll see you in the next one. Let's see if we can wrap this league up. 3-2 is the goal here. Let's go. 2-2. Win, loss. Win, loss. Which would mean a win, right? Match 5 here. Opponent found. Let's play Magic and see if we can win out with a Planeswalker list here in Modern. Alright, we do not get the play, but we have a hand that I feel like we can do some stuff with. Keep in mind, this is not a 1-lander, it is a 2-lander. Darkslick Shores and a Lantern of Insight. They have a bridge off the top. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and play a Channeler down here and pass. Lantern without Karn, unfortunately. This is another matchup where that would be good. Glimmer Void. Ancient Stirrings. Probably going to rush this Pia Kirin out here. I need to be able to attack and do some damage to my opponent. Pixis, we'll see if they get rid of the Desperate Ritual, and they do. Seasoned Pyromancer is probably okay here. Lands. Let's go ahead and Desperate Ritual. Seasoned Pyromancer. Let's go ahead and get rid of Shatter Skull and Ensnaring Bridge. And let's attack. Now they could play Bridge next. I'm able to play Pia Kirin Nalar thanks to a Simian Spirit Guide off the top. They don't know about Pia Kirin Nalar, and I have a couple different artifacts that could help. My opponent has an Assassin's Trophy. Maybe we hold on Pia Kirin Nalar. We'll see. Land. Let's go ahead and go discard. Discard the land here. See if they want me to go ahead and grab the Seasoned Pyromancer or if they mill it off. They do mill it off. There's a Chalice. They milled off their own Assassin's Trophy as well. I'm going to take the Chalice here. And I think I'm tempted to put it on 2 here. Especially seeing the sword here. So let's throw it to 2 and attack for 4. This doesn't allow me to play Pia Kirin Nalar immediately. But it also stops Assassin's Trophy in the future. And there's no reason that I couldn't just throw the Chalice in our future. This looks like a whir for 1. Okay. Are we going to get another Mill Rock? We get a Pithing Needle. They're going to shut down Channeler, which is fine. It's just a 1/3. They're probably going to wish they did this. We did see another whir hit the hand. I could go get another Pithing or Spyglass here for the Pia Kirin Nalar. Might be just bridge time for them. They do play a bridge, so they're going to try to empty their hand relatively quickly here. We're going to pick up our own bridge. Let's go ahead and go attacking. And we're going to actually play our own bridge here. It's not going to be much different than my opponent's, and it gives me another thing to throw with Pia Kirin Nalar. Urza's here. It's a ritual off the top. They milled that. There's a land. They got rid of Urza. They took a Codex Shredder, if I recall. Pixis number 2, Lantern, and Codex Shredder. I think they have a whir in hand. Let's go ahead and go to combat here and attack with some stuff. Down to 6. And let's go ahead and play Pia Kirin Nalar. They need to be able to shut off Pia Kirin Nalar, and I don't recall if they have an ability to do that. Okay. So we've got some Thopters here that I can throw, Chalices and Bridges. We got tokens that can get under Bridge. They pick up a land, they play their land, they play the last card in their hand. So we've got to throw everything at my opponent to win here. They are going to whir, and they should whir for something that shuts off Pia Kirin Nalar. Whirring for 2 for Spyglass. No, Pithing Needle. Alright, so they have another Pithing Needle. What do we have now? We have Slagstorm. We don't have many outs here, unfortunately. Guess we have the Ruins here, so we'll just play until we find a bunch of lands. I mean, that'll work, right? Alright, we'll play to our out here. Our out is basically 2 more lands, or Simian Spirit Guides. I'll play a new Pia Kirin Nalar. Why not? Plenty of chump blockers. Bonus Pia Kirin Nalar. We'll see if they give me lands at any point here. Looks like they're going to use Urza here. They get an Academy Runes. They've already played a land, so it's kind of interesting they miss out on that card. Going to play a new Pia Kirinalar. Deciding to go super wide here with my tokens on the off chance that we end up finding ourselves with a Blood Moon, and they end up milling in such a fashion that they don't get to do much else. We'll see though. We will continue to play this game out because we have that out of lands. I'm not going to activate them until I have enough lands, just in case my opponent doesn't really see that. Grafdigger's Cage here, that's fine. Doesn't do really anything here. We get a Channeler. Slagstorm's pretty good. I'll take that. Pixis is away. Dragon's not bad either. Probably want to get rid of that. Blood Moon's not very good. They get rid of that. There's an Abrade. I would take an Abrade here. Let's get rid of a Chalice here and just pass the turn. You know, doing some tappy-tappy things. There's a Sword of the Meek. Countered. You get a Thopter in, then their life total goes really far up. That would be really bad for us. The Simian Spirit Guide. We'll just pass. We're worrying. No. What do we do? Oh, they returned a Whir of Invention to hand. Now they'll cast Whir to cast... Oh, okay. They can go infinite now. Actually, not being empty-handed here means they can go infinite. At the same time, I don't beat infinite life, and my opponent can do everything that they want to here. We're just going to concede out of respect for time for you, time for my opponent, and time for me. We know what we need to do to beat this list. Let's turn it on. Let's go aggro. Let's go. All right, Eidolon's in, Rabblemaster's in, Magus is in. Let's see here. Anger of the Gods out, Slagstorm, Sweltering Suns. Channelers are too slow for this matchup. Dragons too slow. Bridges don't need to be in here. My opponent combos, they get us. To prevent some of the combo, I could try to Relic here. Let's see here. Do we want Channeler or do I want a Dragon? Or do I want like a Slagstorm? Maybe a pair of Channelers just because it's creatures. Really, we want a fast Rabblemaster, we want a fast Magus of the Moon, or something like that that shuts them off some of their colors. We want a fast just Eidolon. Any of this will do for us. Could even be a fast Chalice on 1. Would be pretty brutal for our opponent. Let's play first. Alright, this isn't really a fast anything here. I actually don't particularly like this. I don't like waiting until turn 3 to play. Let's mulligan. We can do better. Like this. Keep. Let's get rid of a Simian Spirit Guide. We're going to lead with Chalice on 1. Pretty safely here. Go ahead, opponent. That with an Eidolon right after it feels pretty good. It is a shame that I might have to use the Ritual to get the Eidolon out faster. But this Chalice on 1 might be just backbreaking. So much so that, just like my opponent, I respected their infinite combo. They respect our infinite lock. Let's see who wins in game 3. Final game here of this league, trying to go 3-2 without Planeswalkers. More of a creature build. More creatures than anything. Good luck, opponent. You have comboed me. I have comboed you. I'm going to keep the hand here. We're going to get rid of Channeler. This way I can play Blood Moon on curve. I can also play Rabblemaster. A Braid can get rid of some pretty pesky things. Definitely something I want to be doing. Probably okay with playing Blood Moon first to shut off Assassin's Trophy. And we'll go from there. A Braid will be for predominantly it'll be here for the bridge that they'll try to find. My opponent floats some mana here, green and blue specifically, and unravels. Alright. Interesting. Unlocks their mana again. We'll be playing Rabble Master. Unravel. Unravel. Alright, let's play Rabble Master here. And get in for some damage, hopefully. Do we have a counter? Wars for 1. Lanterns sees Pia on top. Alright. Let's attack. They're going to be looking for Bridge, and I do have the card to get rid of Bridge. I like Pia Kieran next here. Let's see what we can do. Ancient Stirrings looking for Bridge. Finds another Lantern of Insight. No bridges, though. No bridges. Let's go combat first. Attack. Big damage. Going that aggressive line here. New gemstone here. We get to play a Pia Kieran. They saw this go to hand, so why not? Pixis is over. Finds a snow-covered island as their next thing. Keep in mind they're trying to get empty-handed, so Force of Negation and other things won't be a problem. Pixis is again. Lanterns. Finds a Assassin's Trophy. Kind of helps me. Plays a land. Assassin's Trophy here. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll lead with a Scavenger Grounds here. I will attempt to. Go to combat, leaving ourselves a Braid open. We know it's Assassin's Trophy and one other card. Assassin's the Rabble Master. Of course I'll go get a land. Sounds great. Let's go ahead and go to combat here. We're looking exceptionally good here with the Ruins both open as well. My opponent at 5. We'll pass with all mana open. I can throw something. I can throw Ruins here. I can do a lot of things. I think my opponent's got to find Bridge here, so they may be sacrificing Lantern. Our aggressive plan appears to be working here. Does it get there? Plays a Gilded Goose. This will gain them some life. Let's go ahead and activate one of these. We'll get rid of Scavenger Grounds, with the idea that I can do this again with the Ramunot Ruins, plus my attack in here. Going for combat. I believe this is lethal. Could be wrong, though. They activate the food token here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's just abrade this out of the way here and end the game. Empty-handed here. 6 damage exactly coming in. And we take down Lantern Control without Karn. Our overall record 3-2 with Red Prison. No Planeswalkers. We'll see you in the conclusion. 3-2, Red Prison Walker list here in Modern. The list looks something like this, and it's got some throwbacks, but also some brand new cards. I think it did pretty well. There were a few stumbles with that Fairies list, maybe a few stumbles with our Euro opponent list, so we might have to run the list once again to get a better reading. That being said, the throwback to Avaricious Dragon here and Pia Kieran seems to be paying off fairly well. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with the 3 of Channeler. It didn't come up as much, and then when we go into that aggressive state with Eidolon and Rabble Master, it felt fairly strong. I think the list could easily destroy Tron, so I'm not worried about that. I think it has a good chance against Amulet decks as well, The prowess list, maybe we punted a little bit there, and so playing a few more rounds of that, I definitely would like to see how that one plays out. Chalice being good, Bridge being good, Blood Moon could be good. Stops Luris, stops the Scourges sometimes. Eidolons are good in that matchup, as are Rabble Masters, I think, because you can put enough pressure on your opponent. So consider this red prison creatureless, or I say that all the time, planeswalkerless. We're saying creatureless a lot because usually you're like, hey, angers and all that, let's rely on these creatures, these planeswalkers. With so many decks going, hey, I'm going to force a negation you, this feels like it's a good way of that Punisher slapped into a little bit of that prison shell and gives you the token strategy that, well, quite frankly, it can get you there. My name is Fluffy Wolf. We stream on Twitch. Come check us out. Many of you have. Thank you for coming by. As always, like and subscribe this video if you've enjoyed the content and would like to see some more. And sharing with your friends does help. We're trying to hit our next goal in YouTube subscribers, and every share and every mention does help. Share us out. Just don't be obnoxious about it, please. Just like text a friend, maybe a message to a friend. Don't go crazy. We'll see you in the next matches. Take care, everyone. Have a good one. See you then.